Hey everyone. All right, today I want to talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness might seem like a moral platitude, but it actually is extremely powerful. So when it comes to our own healing journey and wanting to clear out all of our baggage, everything that holds us back, that's funny, my own live is showing up as a notification. Okay. When we want to clear out everything that's holding us back, guess what? There's a lot. Like every single person has so much baggage and so many limiting beliefs they've adopted from their life experience, especially from age 0 to 6, things that they learned and just soaked up. And we also have so many wounds from like every instance where we've been hurt or surprised or shocked because it's the first time we're learning something or experiencing something. So plus, not to even mention preconception and inherited stuff and societal and familial stuff that we've like absorbed, or other people's energy that we've soaked up when we had weak boundaries. So everyone has a lot to clear, and the more you can clean out, life gets so much better. You experience more of your true self, your health gets better, emotional state gets better, manifesting gets better, it just gets way more fun. It gets so much fun. So in an energy session, we can clear a lot. In every energy session, my goal is to help clean out and shift as much as we can out of your system. And people often report feeling lighter after an energy session, as well as feeling, if we cleaned out something specific or a wound around a specific event, they feel like, wow, I can think about that event in my past and I don't have any, it doesn't weigh me down anymore. It's just objective information. I don't feel hurt by it. I don't feel resentful and angry. I don't feel scared. Like all the emotions and the charge and the wounds are gone. So in every energy session, we try and go through clean out as much as we can. But there's something that you can do. Well, there's lots of things you can do. But one of the things you can do that cleans out so much in a short amount of time is forgiving. So we can ask your system, since it knows every trapped emotion you have, it knows every limiting belief you have, it knows everything that's in your physical body and your subconscious mind and your energy field. We can actually ask at the end of an energy session how many individual energies were released during the session. And it can be in the hundreds and thousands. It can be a lot. Guess what can happen when you forgive? A lot. Hundreds and thousands of trapped emotions, of all different types of energy. And the thing about an energy session is often, the process of healing is that the system will need something to be acknowledged. It's like a little kid that someone knocked them down outside when they were playing and they scraped their knee and they come running and crying, and you look at them and you're like, okay, you're not bleeding anywhere, you're fine, go back out. And they're like, no, I want to cry for a minute, thank you. I want to tell you how bad it was, thank you very much. I want to tell you how it wasn't fair that Johnny got overly excited and pushed me down. And then after I've said my things, and after I've cried for a minute, then you can say, I'm so sorry, here's a hug, you can do it. And then they're like, yeah, okay, now I'm ready. I'm ready to release it, I'm ready to be done with it. But often, so anyway, similar thing happens in an energy session where we identify, look for and identify the root underlying trauma that's contributing to certain experiences or limiting beliefs or whatnot, or symptoms. And we have to find it, identify it, and then validate as much as is needed. So the body will say how much information it needs to be brought to the conscious surface before it's ready to release and be done with that. And so sometimes that's kind of time consuming. We have to find how many limiting beliefs want to be identified and then go find the wording for each of them, and then identify or acknowledge any trauma energy that's tied to those. Sometimes information about the event that caused it needs to be known. It depends on each person, the situation, but we need to do that before the system's ready to release the energy. So what's really cool is in an forgiveness session, which you can do on your own, all of that happens naturally, and so many different types of energies and the numbers of them, everything just happens naturally, and you can clean out hundreds and thousands of trapped energies out of your system by forgiving. So my favorite way to do a forgiveness release is with an expression session. and I've got a video tutorial on that in my YouTube channel, and I'll link it here below so you can look that up. And it's crazy powerful. It seems really simple, but if you actually go through it, you'll experience there's a lot of power to it. And I want to also note that forgiveness doesn't mean it didn't happen, doesn't mean people won't have to face the consequences of choices they made that harmed other people. And it doesn't mean that you have no boundaries and you let people back into your life automatically because you're a good person, a nice person who wouldn't ever set a boundary for someone. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that you step out of the energy of it. It's kind of like, I like the visual of a rope that's tied to one person and then tied to another person. And you just step out of it. You just take it off, step out of the rope, out of the loop, and then that person has still got, they're going to need to do their own work to step out of the rope, but it's not on you anymore, and it's not yours anymore, and you don't have to carry it around or be held down by it, kind of like a weight or an anchor. It did happen, and you acknowledge that, and you can learn from it and set boundaries or whatever you want to do, but it's not about the other person. It's not about that. And it's not about they're not going to have to pay the price or the consequences. It's not about they're forgiven or you remove the weight or the rope from them. It's not about them at all. It's just about you. So when you go through your own process of forgiving, you are stepping out of the ropes that have been tying you down. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the expression session. Sometimes, whenever we have energy that gets stuck inside, it's got to get out somehow. It's got to get out somehow. It's like if you ate food and never went to the bathroom. Problem. Very obvious problem, which we would see become a bigger and bigger problem with every passing day. So same thing with energy. If you have an emotion at some moment of frustration, irritation, hatred, anger, they're going to need to process out. Everything has a process. It goes through a full loop, a full cycle. And so anything that doesn't finish the cycle, if it pauses before the cycle's done, it'll just sit there inside of you forever. So we want to get everything out. But it can be, our trauma energy can be damaging to other people. It can wound other people, hurt people. So it's often when we're getting hurt by someone else or someone is behaving in a harmful way towards us, it's coming from their shadow side, from their trauma energy. It's coming from their wounds. So we don't really want our wounds or our trauma energy that's built up inside of us to come out onto another person or to harm another person. So that's how doing an expression session is so powerful. So you end up having a conversation or talking to the person, but in pretend, so not in real life. You write them a letter, you visualize them, you read it to them with some other steps involved, and then you burn it. And you breathe and you release all of the things that you said. And it's a chance for you to get all of that out, and you can voice it, you can say it. So speaking is one of the methods for helping finish the cycle and release the stuff that's inside of you to get it out. And so the expression session is a vocal and written release. And so by doing that, you can get out all of your anger. If you've got a lot of resentment built up towards someone, maybe not a good idea to try and talk to them about how resentful you feel towards them, but you can do this exercise, imagining and picturing them, and you'll be able to get it all out. Because it's not honoring to you to believe I better just keep this all in. It can't come out. That's going to be damaging to someone. So you need to have a place where you can get it all out. So it's not inside you anymore. And it also doesn't end up landing on somebody else and wounding other people. So, okay, so that's what that's a big part of what the expression session is. And it's incredible. So I've done this with a lot of people, and I recommend you write down any person that you haven't forgiven or that you have any beef with, that you don't like, or even things that are good, like a person who you've wished you had said something positive and you didn't say it. So anyone that you have unresolved energy with that you would like to get resolved, then I recommend writing a whole list and just taking the time to go through them. Every time I do an expression session, I feel 5 pounds lighter afterwards. I feel a tangible emotional difference. It's really, really awesome. So awesome. The hardest part is just setting aside the time and making the commitment to yourself that I'm going to go by myself into a room where I won't be disturbed, or in my car, in a parking lot somewhere, if there's no room in your house. Wherever you need to go, I'm going to commit to myself to make that time and to go do it. All right, so if you do this, if you do an expression session with and forgive everyone who you currently haven't forgiven, you will have cleared tons and tons of junk out of your energy system. It's one of the most profitable things you can do for yourself. For anyone who comes to an energy session with me, it's if you haven't done your forgiveness sessions yet, I'll help you, but there's so much you could be already experiencing right now. Not to say don't come. Please do come. If you want some support or some help, do come. But know that for free, you can clear a bunch of stuff if you currently have anyone that you haven't forgiven. And you can also do it for groups of people or organizations, anyone that you have ill feelings towards. It's a good place. You can clear out those ill feelings because they're low frequency and they don't sit well in the stomach. All right, happy healing, guys. Let me know if you have any questions.